Welcome to Hey That's Me, a commentary podcast. I'm Patrick Contner.
I am Brian Lynch. Patrick, what is this podcast?
Brian, this is a show where we do audio commentaries on movies and TV shows with people who worked on them who never got to do audio commentaries. And this is a wild one because this is not one that you would normally get an audio commentary on. This kind of thing.
We had a legend
Yeah.
on this podcast, this episode, talking about the first couple of years of Late Night with David Letterman.
It's very cool.
But it's not David Letterman,
No.
or Paul Schaefer,
No.
or David Sanborn,
No.
or Hal Gertner. We have the head writer.
We have the head writer, Steve O'Donnell.
So funny.
We do the second anniversary special from February 4th, 1984.
Find it on YouTube.
It is. Don Giller's got it up on YouTube.
Thanks, Don.
Don Giller, the king. Truly, genuinely, I mean this in a very sincere way. I think Don Giller does so much for
Comedy.
saving comedy
Right.
and pop culture stuff, and has done so much for me personally. Saved me during lockdown.
That's
A
great.
lot of lockdown was me watching Don Giller uploads.
That's pretty neat. Thanks,
he's-
Don.
he's
you
a
should
king.
come on our podcast.
I would love to talk to
Where
Don
is he?
Giller. He lives in New York.
You knew that.
I love Don Giller.
Oh, good for you. Anyway, my goodness, so many good stories. I am such a fan of Late Night with David Letterman and Late Show with David Letterman, and I could have talked to him for 10 more hours.
What about my next guest is...
Yeah, it's great. Of course, it's great. But I also really like the insane humor of the old shows.
You
He
like-
doesn't do that anymore.
You like the Barbara Gaines show?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, those are the uploads they do on their YouTube now with Barbara Gaines, who's
Oh,
one of his
yeah, of
producers.
course.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes. I had so many more questions to ask him.
Yeah.
Or just, not even questions. It's I had more things to say that I knew.
Yeah.
The bookmobile.
Yes,
With the gruff but lovable Gus.
Yeah.
I had so much to say. But he was a delight. I had a smile on my face the whole time. I loved it so much. Going to learn a lot about Letterman on this one. And I also say that I don't think you need to watch it along with it. I think he just told some wonderful stories about Larry Bud Melman, about Everett Harvey Picar, Andy Kaufman. What an amazing guy, and he had such a career outside of Letterman.
Yeah.
Chris Rock, Kimmel, Simpsons, Terra Nova.
Yeah.
Not Terra Nova.
You didn't work on Terra Nova.
Yeah. So what a great time this was.
Also
Finally,
works-
you book a guest that I like. Thank you so much.
Also works as a great companion piece on the Letterman YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He does my favorites thing. There's a
Yes.
few videos of him going through his favorite clips and stuff.
And he still does it. He's still doing new ones, he said.
The one that I really love that he talks about is Mujabar and Sirajul,
Oh, yeah.
and they go across the country with him.
Okay.
They do a cross-country road trip, and he goes with them.
Oh, I want to see that.
It's great. But the clip is up there, but also him talking about it is up there.
Do you think they sell anything other than shades at Just Shades?
I think what do you want?
What if I want lamps?
You'd probably go to Just Lamps.
I should go to a place called Just Lamps.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good point. Please enjoy this one. This was a real special one. I hope he comes back. I think he probably enjoyed it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going to start in
3,
2, 1, go. All right, here we go. Late Night with David Letterman, second anniversary show.
Originally aired February 2nd, 1984.
Amazing. Steve, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm already feeling shivers of sentiment and indeed a little light fear.
Now, you wanted to watch this one. I gave you the option. I said, pick whatever you'd like to watch.
Yes.
Literally anything.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was partly because I wanted to go to a strange, weird corner of the Letterman universe.
Yeah.
This is way before the show was very popular, before there was a top 10 list, before we were attracting good guests on a regular basis.
Sure.
The pace is going to be a little slower than it was.
Yeah.
I may have made a terrible mistake picking this one, but I think there is a fascination, at least for me, when I see early Charles Schultz peanut strips or early Simpsons where the characters look like weird alien lollipops of some sort.
Their color's a little off or something. Yeah,
and they have the feral teeth and they're growling and the voices are all wrong. There's a little bit of that here.
Yeah.
Well, the From New Yorks and the Man Who's. Oh, there was always, once a week, I'd be screaming at the writers, more Man Who's, more From New Yorks.
But it is amazing. Watching this, there's so many clips that got replayed so much, and that became
almost none of them will be in this show. All the sort of big stunts.
No, but I'm saying there's a lot of very famous stuff in this
Kaufman
show.
was in it.
well,
I mean, Andy
I'll-
Kaufman's coming.
You're gonna be
I'm going
surprised.
to be
I think.
surprised. I
Yeah.
have not seen it in 43 years.
That's amazing.
If 2 plus 43, 44.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
these graphics. This was Bob Pook. I don't know if you ever crossed paths with him. I know you had some Saturday Night Live
Yeah, I don't think so.
experience. The sort of hand painted black and white photographs that became iconic.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of him. A guy named Mark Carson did a lot of the bumpers that you'll see in the show.
Sure.
They overlapped with Broadway Video and Lorne Michaels, and
Yeah.
they were very, very gifted. And the look of late night for decades was influenced by them. Oh, we paid for balloons.
Yeah.
This was the second anniversary, by the way. We'd gotten a cake from the network for the 100th show.
Okay.
Wow.
And then we'd gotten another cake for the 200th show. And that must have been close to what we were coming up. Maybe we hadn't even reached 200 yet. But
Did you start?
after that, the cake stopped coming.
Just the two.
You started in '83.
No, I started in the first year, but
Oh, okay.
3 months in.
Okay.
What you will recognize as the cycle. One cycle had gone by.
Sure. Yes.
And I was fortunate at the misfortune of another writer. I think his name was Richard Morris, a stand-up comic, who did not get picked up, but they hired me. So I wasn't there for the first 3 months, but I watched every single one of them. I was a lunatic about it. And I don't know what kind of guidance counselors you had in high school who were telling you, find that thing you love and go do it. I never found that was... all the jobs I had before Letterman were like 70%.
Sure.
Working at a museum.
Did you have any
greeting
writing
cards.
jobs, like writing comedy jobs before?
I worked at American Greetings for a year and a half.
my
I wrote
God.
Ziggy comics. I wrote
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Animal. Yeah,
Can you tell us one of your favorite Ziggies that you wrote?
I could, but I'm not going to. Same with the cards, but it had been a greeting card company that R. Crumb had worked at.
Oh, cool.
And they had no respect for him, and there were drawers of junk art that they called slush drawers that still had his original artwork mixed in with, rainbows and wishing wells and leprechauns and things. I just took a lot of it home.
I was
hope
going to
so.
say, that's, yeah.
And again, 35 years later, I came back and gave a little talk to the writers and artists at the company. It's in Cleveland, Ohio, my hometown. Oh, well, yes.
That's was hometown too,
Best location in the nation.
yeah.
And I confessed to taking the art, and the management said, fine. I also pretended to return a stapler that I'd had
That's good.
for decades. It was an icebreaker.
I mean, that is something where they could have kept the company going for 5 more years if they had sold that art, I think.
Our
You
Crumb
know?
art,
That's-
I hated to bring that up.
Yeah,
I've not taken any advantage of the art. I'm just a huge R. Crumb
Yeah.
fan, and it was through that, by the way, that Harvey Picar kind of found his way onto the
Yes.
program later. He had not been on yet at this point. By the way, I'm going to say a lot of inaccurate things, so speak right up.
That's okay.
If Picar
Right,
shows
cuts
up
right
in a
to
clip.
Picar.
I don't
am
think
gonna
he
No,
is in
he
this.
does not.
Yeah.
No, not yet, but I was a big fan. Another one of the writers named Max Pross,
Yes.
who worked on Seinfeld and SNL and The New Show. He was a big fan, and I even got to be pictured in one of the American Splendor comics. I don't know how much detail your
No, I mean,
podcastees
that's exactly
will
the kind
know.
of
I
detail.
mean, if I say, "Oh, well, this was well before the suit of Velcro," people go, "What he's
No.
talking about?"
Steve, if we talked about Harvey Picar for the whole hour, people would be psyched. So it's,
A fascinating character.
Yes.
By the
Well,
way,
I mean,
fascinating character.
Brother Theodore is coming up, by the way. too.
Oh, sure.
let's-
Sir, he was the kind of guest that we could get and that suited us. That was
Sure.
weird and off track. Alba Ballard, the lady
Yeah.
who dressed her parrots in crazy costumes.
were there any of those people that you didn't get? Where you're just like, I people like that person. It's not my thing.
There were a couple of nostalgic guests.
Yeah.
That our film coordinator Rick Scheckman, and if you know Don Giller, you may know
of
Rick
course.
Scheckman.
Shout out Don
He
Giller.
kept saying, "Oh, we're going to have Irving Caesar." On the show, who wrote like Tin Pan Alley songs
Right.
back in the World War I era, and at the time I went, "Oh, it's the crowd is not getting it."
Yeah.
But now I go, "That's amazing."
Yes.
Yep.
That we had him. By the way, the wraparound party and so on. My big suggestion for this show was to have like a slightly off choir. And my sister, Christine, had married a merchant marine who'd gone to the Merchant Marine Academy.
Yeah.
And I knew they had a chorale. If we'd gotten the Navy or the Air Force, not. It's hard to explain
Yes.
why
Right.
why Merchant Marine is funnier than Navy, but It just is.
Yeah.
And of course, this goes horribly wrong as I'll act like the whole world knows. No, it does go wrong, and people who continue to watch will see, because we did tape live. We
Yeah.
could go tape live. The term was live to tape. We'd run for an hour and then stop.
Yeah.
Even when we were doing a piece where Letterman had to rush down to the street to do a Man in the Street live, we did it. He had to get down to the street in 2 minutes.
Now, was that just hard because it was harder to edit at that point, or
Not
like
really.
they just did it because that's
it
how
was
they did
one
it?
of Letterman's
Adds to the excitement of it.
Yeah.
eccentric but not entirely unfounded hunches, which is
Yeah.
you want it to feel like it's going in real time.
Sure.
And it really was. He had a lot of good instincts about things. You know, writers would go, "Let's do circus night," or "Let's do monster night," or something, and he'd go, "Yeah, that'd be good for the first minute and a half," and then you're stuck with it the whole night.
Yeah.
And
Yet,
of course, he was.
late night Monkey Cam made it on the air.
Yes.
Yes.
I
And
like
the,
Monkey
the
Cam.
360 show.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my God, genius.
Those are both Randy Cohen inspirations.
Oh, yeah.
Though there's a wonderful, wonderful writer, actually close to Disturbed, like a Michael O'Donoghue type named Kevin Curran.
Uh-huh.
And he had jokingly pitched the Monkey Cam. You know, like we'd been doing all these cameras in the ceiling and
Yeah.
cameras coming
Yeah,
up
yeah.
out of the seats. And he said, "Yeah, what's next? Monkey Cam?"
Oh, that's so funny.
And Randy said,
Yes.
"Well, how about Monkey Cam?" This is one of those things where decades later, writers still battle over the comedy writers are the worst. They're the best people, but
Yes.
they are also the worst people.
Did you have any interaction with O'Donoghue?
I did, but it has nothing to do with the show.
No, I
wonder if
know, but-
he might have been dead by this time. Here's a freakish fact.
Yeah.
I have an identical twin brother
Yes.
who worked on a lot of comedy shows, and he wrote on Saturday Night Live and was a special friend with Michael O'Donoghue, which really didn't make sense because he was the sweetest lamb of a guy.
Yeah.
And O'Donoghue, had odd Nazi regalia in
Yes,
his home,
yes.
but
Right.
not as a supporter. as a-
Famously,
he
maybe not the
liked
sweetest
bad
guy,
taste.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just liked totally upsetting the apple cart.
Yeah.
But
Making his guests uncomfortable.
I've mentioned my museum jobs. I worked at the Museum of Broadcasting when
Yeah.
that was what it was called. And I was friendly enough with O'Donoghue to tell him I'd found a couple of clips that he should come see that we were never going to put in the public collection. And one of them was on some game show. I can't remember the name of it now, but Bert Parks was the host.
Oh,
but
sure.
the main thrust of it was one of the contestants accidentally gets set on fire in the middle of the. He's supposed to be pretending to stamp out a firecracker fuse.
Sure.
But to add to the supposed pop explosion, they drop a lot of flour or something
Oh,
from
sure.
the ceiling. Every Midwesterner knows what a grain elevator
Yeah.
fire is, and the place just went up and the guy's on fire and the camera O'Donoghue came in and it was like he had found a lost Judy Garland song or something. It was just, he couldn't have been more pleased.
Oh, that's amazing. Were you at the studio for this, or were you at the party?
I was in the studio.
You were in the studio. Yeah.
I'd gone out to the party to just sort of like make good with the Merchant Marines before things went crazy.
Sure.
By the way, just looking at all these props, and I have to say the head writer who preceded me, I'd been head writer now only a couple of months.
Yeah.
At this point, but Miro Marco still working on the show,
Yes.
still writing now.
Yeah.
Has discovered a wonderful fourth or fifth career as a graphic novelist.
And they're great,
her,
too.
Her
Yeah.
sensibility is all over, not just this show and this special.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably imitating her when I pitched the Merchant Marines.
Mm-hmm.
She had such a sense of the slightly soft and the slightly sour. It was wonderful. It was a great, great thing. Found art. I always thought of her as like the most artistic comedy writer I ever knew, or maybe just the funniest artist, because she knew. I mean, one of the first images on the show was Man Ray's Weimaraner drinking chocolate milk or something out of a baby bottle. I can't remember the specifics, but it was like, it wasn't Johnny Carson. And we weren't
Right.
supposed to be Johnny Carson. And the Carson who produced the Carson Entertainment, who produced the show, gave us a lot of specific rules and limitations and restrictions that actually turned out to be great.
Beyond just you can't have guests on that we've just had. Like, that was a big thing, wasn't
Maybe
it?
the
It was
Yes,
like-
but
yeah.
that Brother Theodore wasn't going to
course,
sit
was
down
never
with
going-
Carson.
Yeah.
So, but it suited us. It suited the sensibility. We couldn't have a big Doc Severinsen orchestra.
Yeah.
It had to be a tight little garage band. I personally preferred that.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And Paul Schaefer has worked with so many fantastic people, and the band did get bigger and bigger and bigger,
Sure.
and had a horn section. I always liked it when it was the four of them.
Yeah.
They really rocked out. When they would do albums, they were beautifully produced
Mm-hmm.
and they were really fun. But I said, do what you do
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
studio,
It's
that
not
what
as
the
fun as
audience
this
is
thing.
listening to during the break.
Sure.
Even now, when I hear Green Onions or Magic Carpet
Yeah.
Ride or something
Yeah.
like that, I get it takes me back to both a happy time and an anxious time. Like, oh boy, what happens when the camera goes
How
back
often
on?
do you think about the Letterman show?
I dream about it almost every
Yeah.
night.
Wow.
Yes.
And-
Positively or stress dreams or what is?
My dreams, I've been lucky in so many million ways. My dreams were so delightful until I hit old age. So it must be mortality.
Yeah.
Where I'm now dreaming about, my childhood home flooding.
Sure.
Or,
Right.
or I'm caught in a fire or something. It's all because you're going to die.
Yeah.
This will get a laugh from the podcasties. Fear of death. But I never had them when I was working at Letterman.
Huh.
But I now have dreams where I'm supposed to be pitching something.
Yeah.
And I know I've got something, and I'm going, it had to do with mice. It had to do with like paper airplanes, something. I can't remember. And so those are like, and I also have the stock. I'm back in school and I'm taking a test. I never had those
Yeah.
when I was in school.
Right.
They didn't really happen till
Yes.
I happened to look at the screen. This is Sandy Frank wrote this, and I'm going to make a sort of historical shout out to him because he was one of a 2 or 3 distinct types of writers that in the 70s, 80s, and 90s existed, but we see less now. He was a practicing lawyer who decided to throw it over and try to
Wow.
become a comedy writer.
Oh,
And he was
wow.
pretty good at it. He also, because he went on to work on Living Color,
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily his choice, but he got kind of pigeonholed. So he was this white writer who worked on a dozen black shows for
sure.
the next 20 years.
Yeah. There's a few guys like that
Yes.
still today where that's their thing.
I'm
and
trying
it's-
to Brian
Brian
Tucker
Tucker,
on this
yeah,
show, but
that's
he's
who I was gonna say.
brilliant.
Yeah, he is.
He does the black game shows and
Yes,
stuff like. He's
he's
also
great.
from the South. And
Yes.
it's kind of a wonderful thing.
He's
I worked with
amazing.
him at Chris Rock, and such a sweet guy.
Yeah.
The way I he. It's a special niche.
Yeah.
And Sandy was great that way. Oh, now I should shout out to an old girlfriend who will be surprised that I even remember or mention it.
She's a huge fan of the show, so that's great.
I don't know that she even would care, but she knew. I forget the name of this glamorous lady with all the shoes. She was temporarily in the news.
Yeah.
Like a sort of Marcia Maples or something like that.
Sure.
But Brooke, my girlfriend, knew her assistant, and she said, "Oh, the assistant tells me she's got 1,000 pairs of shoes."
Great.
And I said, "Let's have a parade."
her
Let's get her. And she played along, and
Yeah.
Went along with it.
Well, it made that show so much more creative because you were working with, well, we can't get Jimmy Stewart. We can't
Yes.
get whoever the
So
big,
let's
the
get
big
the
people.
fringe.
where
Yeah.
the
So
where
you
the,
get this lady, and it's
This is
The nut
Letterman,
lady.
Letterman's timing here is the best. when it comes-
Now, here's a weird fact.
yeah.
This lady and her nut museum
Yes.
was in a house up in Connecticut that Chris Elliott now lives in.
Oh wow! I didn't
There's
know
a
that.
scoop for you. Yeah.
Wow.
They even shot a movie. His very talented daughter, Bridie,
Yes. Yes.
Abby's sister of Saturday Night Live, she's a filmmaker and an actress.
Yes.
And she shot a very eccentric comic horror movie, ghost movie,
Wow.
called Clara's Ghost.
Yes.
And they shot it all in the family house.
that's
And it's that house. Anyway, there's just odd overlaps that
It's
way.
the Nut Museum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this guy can't remember his mnemonic device.
Yes.
He expects Letterman.
But
to.
Letterman is good at this. Where he's trying to be helpful and
Yeah.
yes. This is where a mistake is sometimes better than getting it right.
Yeah.
And that may have to do with this entire special because it does end up with a debacle of expensive, catastrophic proportions that has to do with the Merchant Marine Academy Choir. Perhaps the most dramatic episode in their storied history.
Yes. Would you watch the show from in the studio, or were you guys in the writers' room watching, or where would you?
Backstage in the
Backstage,
wings. It
yeah.
depended on what was necessary. I often had to rush up to Letterman during the break. Indeed, I've saved a lot of the little notes he would sometimes write things furiously on, and I didn't save all of them.
Yeah.
The one that he wrote most frequently was just "standby show," and he would underline it, meaning we're not airing this show. And he must have written it 100 times. But we'd go up and we'd look at the show we'd recorded.
Yeah.
We had a couple hours before it had to go out to the North America, and he usually changed his mind. I think we once used the standby show.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, I'm trying to remember who the fish cleaning idea was. It is a great one. Take a celebrity and have them do something odd. I'm going to say it was either Tom Gamlin, Max Pross, or Merrill Markle, because, again, it has that surreal quality to it that is just so great. You find out, I think somewhere in some profile of her, we saw she knows how to clean fish because she's from
amazing.
Idaho, Sun Valley or something.
Yeah. Here he is. Yep. What was his vibe backstage? Did you have?
He turned it off.
Yeah.
Not insane. I'm not a performer. It's a character.
Of course.
Andy Kaufman, who we'll probably see a few more times, he would stay in kind of crazy character for a long stretch. Just a much more deep, interesting, committed artist. But again, not a lunatic either.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And the more I watch that punch that we may get to,
yes,
the more I go, why didn't people see that this was staged?
I know.
Yes, and here's where something is goofy, and there's a little fun to be had of it, and then you do a live follow-up. In this case, it was John Candy's actual idea. He said, when I come out and I'm the following guest, have my hair all floofed up.
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, wait.
Here's the punch.
We should have had John Candy.
Yeah.
Who put this show together? Oh, wait. I
put
did.
one of the most famous late night clips after that. Come on.
It's just that John Candy's stuck-up hair is less appreciated than this. But see, watch, you can sort of see it's a little like a...
Yeah.
It's still pretty good.
But nobody knew at the time.
I was going to ask
Letterman did not know. The director did not know.
Yeah.
The security team did not know. The producer, just the two performers. And Letterman's... we have no audio as we do this chattering and jabbering. But I know that Letterman makes a great... spontaneous quip here. He says, all that cursing, it's terrible, but the one thing you can't do on TV is throw coffee. And I just think, this is why
it's really
I love
great in the moment. Yeah.
Oh, I've never finished my first thought about stupid high school guidance counselors.
Okay.
This was the first show where 100% I wanted to do it and knew I wanted to do it and craved doing it and felt like if they don't hire me, then the universe is not what I think it is.
Sure.
But they did hire me, and that was so great. Oh, wait, maybe we're going to see John Candy after all.
Yeah.
Whoever put this show together is a genius.
No, we don't, but we see John Candy in another sketch later with the fish.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've watched this through already?
Oh, yeah.
You guys prepare. I'm going to have to think about that.
No,
that would be a good approach to
You're doing
what's
great.
professing.
Well, we want to make sure we know what we're at least kind of talking about. Here she is.
Yes,
She's so great on this show,
yes,
too.
and only recently has she. We thought she was ancient at the time.
Yeah, no, recently.
Yes.
I met her pre-COVID because there was a documentary that came out about her.
Right.
And she was, 2 feet tall at that point
Yes.
because she was 97 years old or whatever it was and just kept shrinking. But it's amazing that this show had so many people like her and like Brother Theodore. Like, there's 55 amazing recurring guests for this
Carrie
show.
Gar being,
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's also something. I'll be curmudgeon-y for the gamillionth time. The like seeing the cameraman and pointing to the producer, which is now so pat and so standard. Having what they now call human interest guest, the potato chip collector would eventually they did have them on Carson.
Yeah.
Eventually they did find, the lady who makes sculptures out of pancakes or whatever.
Yeah.
And now that's a standard type. I think we experimented a little bit more than others. I have seen old Steve Allen shows when he would have like the young Frank Zappa on who'd come on and play a bicycle like it was a musical instrument. So there was some notion of it then, but it was all winking and cutesy and not. We were trying to get mileage out of what we could do. You know,
Well, it also feels like you guys pioneered in a lot of ways, in that you all became characters too.
well,
Barbara became a character. Paul became a character. Like even the behind the scenes people, Jerry Mulligan's doing so much stuff. Like
They had recurring bits.
yeah,
like writers,
in that like also became a thing on Conan, and Seth Meyers uses his writers a lot.
Yes.
Like it becomes
yes,
Kimmel even
and-
too.
I loved working at Kimmel.
Yeah.
I admire Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
I really love Conan.
Yeah.
But see, what we had some lucky breaks.
Yeah.
Like Paul Schaefer. Dave had a completely different band leader for his morning show.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Schaefer had worked with Second City, in Canada and stuff. So he was a plausible, even by resume, band leader.
Yeah.
But the fact that he turned out to actually be really good
Yeah.
at comic takes and insights and style. He got what was campy. He got what was shticky. He got what was both wonderful and horrible at the same time.
Yeah.
Loving the Jerry Lewis telethon. Loving over the top Cher and over the top Times Square New Year's Eve celebrations and stuff. Stupid Petrix, by the way, a Merrill Marco idea.
Yeah.
Producer Barry Sand had something about people coming on with pets and doing something with them, and it seemed not quite there. And that's when a simple title, Umbrella, gives it a whole different outlook. Stupid Petrix.
Yeah, cushioning it with the stupid
Yes.
leaves you a lot of room for
Yes,
this is going to go wrong. This is going to be
These
dumb.
weren't like. They tended to be eccentric.
Yeah.
They could get a beer out of the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Some of them still make me weak with pleasure. The dog who plays dead, but really plays dead. He
Right.
goes limp in the guy's arm. You just go, how do you even begin to teach such a thing? I think it, like much in life, some of it happens accidentally, and then
Yeah.
you keep repeating it and pretending it's intentional.
What was the attitude backstage? Were you guys happy? Were you guys stressed?
Well, I mean, even at the second anniversary, there was no clear indication yet that we were going to stay on the air. By fourth or fifth, maybe. But there were the network had a lot of complaints a lot of time. Our own unit managers used to grumble about us. I would pass their office, unit managers, the way Norm Macdonald would always say during the podcast, explain to the folks at home. Unit managers like run the money and stuff like that,
Yes.
the budgets. And I'd go
The
past
nerds.
one
Yeah.
of their door, and I knew we were trying to set up a Dave shouting down to the Today Show team while they were doing it. And I would hear the unit manager going, saying, I wish they wouldn't do it either. I don't want them to do it. I go like, thanks for being a team player.
Do you remember the moment when you were like, I think we're good? I think we don't need to stress about the show getting... Was there a time? No.
Very gradual.
Yeah.
Right.
But I would say 4 years in, 5 years in.
Yeah.
And when I started hearing people talking about the show more, this was still pretty obscure. This was when I mostly would get, oh, that's too late for me. I'm up too late. And I mean, there were recording devices and VCRs and stuff, but it was still. See, I think late night has changed very much. I don't think people stay up to watch late night at all. I think Saturday Night Live is the only destination viewing show.
Sure.
The others, they watch highlights and so on. And
Yeah.
it also just what it accomplishes is not the same as what it used to. But again, that's my millionth and one curmudgeonly comment.
Yeah, no.
Now, you said that you were a fan of the show before you went and
Well, his
became a
morning
part of it.
show I
Right.
had seen, yeah.
But growing up, what inspired you in terms of what comedy were you into?
Well, some of the older Clevelanders, not the young ones,
Mm-hmm.
will remember a late night monster movie host in Cleveland named Goulardi,
Oh, yeah.
Ernie Anderson.
Yeah, yeah.
Paul Anderson's dad.
That's right.
Yeah.
What a family! And he became he went out to L.A.
Mm-hmm.
to become like the voice of ABC, Macmillan and wife. you know, heart to heart.
Mm-hmm.
Dodge trucks are ram tough. A wonderful guy, but he hosted a lot of Baltimore, Boston, L.A., Austin, Texas. They all had their late night movie hosts, who would dress like a vampire. Count Floyd, basically,
Right.
Svengoolie, all of
But
them. Yeah.
Goulardi was so it was the first thing that really dropped my jaw because it was he he would show these old movies, but he through green screen, which I didn't understand in the slightest. He would put himself into the movies,
Right.
Oh, sure.
and he would react to the monster and react to the love scene and stuff. And then when the movie wasn't showing, he would blow up model cars with firecrackers, and they would play weird rock music like Papa Hu Mau Mau, Papa Hu Ma Mau Mau.
Right.
And he wasn't a hippie and he wasn't a beatnik. He was some kind of crazy wild man. He had like a fur hat, an eye patch, but he used beatnik like slang, but from like a cartoon, like turn blue over there, you purple kniff, which is Fink backwards. And when you're
Oh, wow.
when you're 8, you just
Yeah.
go, "This is the greatest thing I have ever
Right.
seen."
Yeah.
Right.
And it was also on late, and it just seemed so anarchic. And I had some longing to work on a late night show that did the anarchic things that were a little offbeat, and I got to do that.
You did.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the head writer who'd preceded me, Jim Downey, is now in those Anderson films.
Yes.
doing.
He's so great in One Battle After
He's
Another.
so good.
He's
Yeah.
so good in it. Yeah.
But like Meryl Marco with the cartooning, it's something he's come to late in life. He did do he did do cameos in
Billy Madison and
the Adam Sandler films. But
All right, let's talk about him. Here he is.
Larry Bud.
Larry
I
Bud.
think at this point, this was not his full-time job.
Oh, wow.
Really?
For 2 or 3 years, he worked as a receptionist in a methadone clinic in
Wow.
Brooklyn, and he was a terrible, rarely employed actor. He had
Yes.
gotten a couple of pieces, like photo pieces, where they set him up like he's the butcher or he's the druggist or something. But he was a terrible, awkward actor.
Sure.
I don't mean to.
No,
I don't
of
mean to
course.
disillusion everyone about his acting, but there was something fascinating and sweet and bizarre about him as well. He was not mentally handicapped or anything.
Sure.
He was like a strange, super protected, sheltered child. Like he couldn't work a cigarette lighter. He couldn't push a push pin into a bulletin board. He didn't know how to do these things.
Yeah.
He still lived in the house he grew up in.
Wow.
But he was from a family of actors, both the Calvert and DeForest.
Yeah.
These were both great old acting families of the Edwin Booth, John Wilkes Booth era, So it's very, and why that story never got told, I have no idea.
He's so fascinating and like just electric in a weird way to watch. You
Yes.
know, in a way
Yes.
that it's rare that an actor feels that way.
And that too,
Yeah.
I think that one parallel that might have preceded it was Junior Samples, if you ever watched Hee Haw, because he was like somebody they just discovered, like he worked in a car lot or something.
Yeah.
And they just brought him out to be kind of like a sort of mystical, goony
Right.
uncle. And Calvert was all that. Finally, I think the government or something stepped in and said they noticed that he was getting thousands of dollars every few months for appearing on television. And they said the methadone clinic job was like a part of a work
Oh, sure.
program. So they couldn't have somebody that was making money elsewhere getting the job. So we hired him then full time, but it was not in the first year or the second year. It
Yeah.
was pretty well in there. And I also remember he turned 60 right about this time. And I remember there were several things. His teeth were in terrible, terrible shape. But among the things for his 60th birthday, we got his teeth fixed.
that's
Oh.
amazing.
He was very pleased about that.
That's amazing.
And he started to lead the life that he really wanted to lead.
Yeah.
Again, he went to Broadway shows all the time. He delighted when people recognized him on the
that's
street
great.
and so on.
Did he get the joke? Do you think?
That's a tough
That's
one.
a hard question, I'm sure. Yeah.
I think the simplest answer is no.
Yeah.
But he did see that certain things worked. You
Yeah.
know, like when we gave him a fake laugh to just whenever things kind of started to slow down,
Yeah,
he'd go, ah! He got that was a lifesaver.
Yeah.
This is so Meryl Marco, all the lumber boys she would go through phone books. I remember going by our office and there'd literally be dozens of phone books stacked up on her desk, not just for the tri-state area, but LA and everything else. Because there were phone calls you could make as well,
I looked it up this week. Just Bulbs and Just Shades.
Yeah,
Is that the
Just
other one?
Shades. Yep.
They're both still open.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing? Like this is 45 years ago or whatever it is, and it's like they're still
The
both
Letterman
there.
bump.
Yeah.
Yes. Meryl Marco contributed to this new-ish dedicated Letterman YouTube channel, and she picked her favorite clips, and of course, those are in there.
Yeah.
I once, pretending to just be a regular citizen, went into Just Bulbs, and the lady was there, and this was 20 years after the fact, and I said, "Oh, do people ever mention was it on the Letterman show?" And she went, "Yes." She still seemed a little pissed about it, actually. This is the cutaways like this, where they have nothing to do with the story, or they're just bland, or they're just odd. This was Hal Gurney. I mentioned how great to have Paul Schaefer, who just seemed above and beyond just the regular musical director.
Yeah.
Hal Gurney as the director, he saw things. He would see things over Dave's shoulder. He would during a taping in the studio, he would notice an older couple dozing off and cut to them mid interview, and he was a writer plus he was a director, a producer. Already, he was great. So I don't know what the creative equivalent of A Perfect Storm was, but to have Letterman, to have Meryl Marco, to have Hal Gurney as the director,
And Hal was older than the rest of you.
he's 100 now.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's I
thought he was ancient, but he's
that's
like,
amazing at that point
Right.
that they had someone who had the foresight to be like, I know what this show needs, and I've got the same sense of humor.
believe me, the network putting it together didn't know that.
Yeah.
It just happened to be sort of great. Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Yes, you can see the pissed offness just beginning to build. Though she has a good face for television,
Yes.
the large features.
I mean, it's so funny.
Do you remember when Letterman stole Hal Gurney's wife in the short film Feeling in Love?
Yes. Yeah.
That was a Tom Gamble Max Pross bit,
Fantastic.
which, by the way, Gurney did not like. That's
Really?
one of the few things. I think he was
Oh.
just because
He had to act.
he has
quite a bit.
normal vanity. You know, he
Yeah,
doesn't
right, yeah.
like, it's the first time I'd ever heard of diverticulitis, for example, which they just
Well, she-
randomly gave.
But
to-
she left Dave to go back to Hal at the end.
Yes.
Goodbye, Dave.
Yes, and all the floor crew, as I recall, hate Dave
Yep,
and side with Hal.
Biff
and-
punches him in the stomach.
Yes.
What about the like camera guys or the grips or whatever? Were they on board with stuff, or were they like, I don't, I'm an NBC
they loved
guy.
being used, and,
Yeah.
and many of them became kind of fourth string celebrities
Yeah,
themselves.
totally.
The whole atmosphere was wonderful because the writing staff was all in their 20s. Even Letterman was like early mid 30s. Meryl Marco the same. Most of the stagehands were these 50, 60 older guys that lived in Queens and Brooklyn and had the old school Bowery Boys accents and stuff, and they had all worked on Hollywood Palace or Nightly News or something like that, and they just thought it was a riot. Some of them were impatient, and some of them, just because I didn't know how things worked, we'd be rehearsing something and I'd go move a couple chairs on the set, and the stagehands
like that.
did not care for that.
Yeah.
Right.
They've been waiting for 6 hours reading the New York Post.
Would you go out for the pre-tape segments? Would
Oh
you
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, there was always a writer along, or usually there was. I was not on this one. This was a Tom Gamble. And by the way, this is such a Tom Gamble type line. We're tired, but I'm tired, but it's a good kind of tired. And this is, again, you go, it's not really a joke, right?
Yeah, but it
It's
sounds
the
fun.
attitude
Yeah.
of where it's just a little odd. Yeah.
There is a lot of stuff on the show where like it has the cadence of a joke,
Right.
So it becomes funny because it has that.
we
cadence.
used to say sounds like a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was a certain amount of surreality to it. But I remember Norm Macdonald later both complaining about it, but also celebrating it, where he hated meta comedies.
Sure,
Right?
yeah.
Comedy on comedy.
Yeah.
Like this too, like you go like, oh, Dave with Showgirls. In 1983 or 84, that was a joke. Oh, this
Yeah.
guy with Showgirls. But someone watching it now go, oh, okay, so he had Showgirls.
There it is.
yeah.
We
Yep.
would do little game show parodies or in the studio, and we'd use Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, Tijuana Taxi, from like 10 years before, maybe 7 years before. It wasn't that long since it had been an actual hit. But to us, it sounded so campy and hilariously, strange and shticky. But anyone watching it in 2026 would go, oh, so that's the music from the era. They wouldn't. The culture is so rich and odd that it had to sort of. you had to sort of enter it with an appreciation of things that went before and went after. But anyway, some of this might still be amusing. I think most of it is.
Oh, it is.
So much of this, it's great because so much of it is online and people
Right.
can go watch it now. Do you like that, or do you think that? Is there anything that you're like, oh, I'm not super proud of that one. I would rather it.
Well, this is exactly the kind of thing I was talking. There is one that is painful to watch now,
Yeah.
but we meant it to be extremely strained. But it was a parody of a very specific type of show that ran from the late 60s, went into the early 80s. The summertime replacement show that was variety, and it almost always had a country western type host, And there were wonderful things. We called it the Summertime Sunshine Happy Hour, sort of Smothers Brothers-y.
Sure.
We actually got John Hartford, who was a hero of mine,
Oh, yeah.
to come and play Gentle on My Mind. But the sketches were all like, oh, it's the future, and we're all taking Thanksgiving pills and wearing silver suits. And you look at it now and go, man, these are corny. And we're going, that's just what we meant them to be. But you wouldn't... At the year you watched it, you'd get it. You watched it 5 years later, you go, these are the worst writers ever. When the fact is, we were like the third or fourth worst writers.
Was there a show on at the time that you wish you had written on, but you were at Letterman there?
Oh, Fernwood Tonight, but
Yeah.
it was a very similar thing, and that was a
that's
few
good.
years before.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have written for Mary Hartman, but the similar sort of spirit. I would have loved to. I didn't have the richness of theatrical character background, but I still think way better, even than this wonderful show, was SCTV in its heyday. It was the best.
Yeah.
We're speaking a few weeks after Catherine O'Hara passed away, and that was so sad. You just go, oh my God. She got plenty of credit, but boy, they deserved, she and Andrea Martin, even more. It's so fantastic.
There's a great compilation. I think shout out Don Giller again. He put together all the SCTV cast member appearances on Letterman.
Oh, how
and
great.
it's a great like 4-hour video on YouTube for people.
Wow.
I don't mean to interrupt, but isn't it amazing this guy went on to become the governor of New Jersey?
I'm trying to think of like people of were there any cameos from people that went on?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like when Tom Hanks hosted Saturday Night Live, and then they showed the clip of him as an extra in a Saturday Night Live restaurant sketch or jury sketch or something a few years before. Oh, I know who. Oh, there's a dozen. They just. I hope I remember the name. The little kids when we would do Halloween costumes.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
You'll have
Scarlett
to help me with the
Johansson
names.
one,
The
maybe?
Home Alone kid.
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Yes. I used to make Bill Chef laugh, saying we knew him when he was Macaulay McNobody, but he came on in Halloween costumes, and also I forget the name of two of the little girl actresses, but only because they went on to be in primetime kind of tearjerker shows that I rarely watched.
Yes.
But I think I'm doing pretty good. Those are the
great.
first two memories and
think it's
names
good.
I can't recall.
Yeah.
Well, Brother Theodore got cast in The Burbs soon after.
That's true. Yeah.
What, this new show?
No, the movie.
The movie with Tom Hanks.
Because there's a. Isn't there a?
It's a
Yeah,
reboot,
there's a new show now.
Would
and
be amazing.
I hear it has some cameos
But I was
from
going to
the
say this
original
must
cast.
be AI
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
or via Ouija board.
Yes. Fits with that movie.
He's just a CGI Brother Theodore.
We will live in a age of wonders and miracles.
Yes.
I don't remember this at all. It looks like Mr. Wizard. In a
This
way.
is a long setup for
Yeah.
the payoff. Yep.
Yeah. What is
Yes.
it? He hits it with the pole, right?
Yeah,
Is that what he does?
smacks
Yeah.
the tray with the pole.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
A very stupid human trick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, thank God for the super slow mo. That
Oh, it's the
actually made
best.
it all worthwhile. You wouldn't be that interesting otherwise.
Slow-mo?
I would occasionally have a notion for a slow mo, like a wet dog drying off or
Yes,
something.
I
like
think
that.
that's in this. I
Mm-hmm.
think. Slow-mo feels like you guys loved slow-mo.
Uh,
Feels like slow-mo gets used a lot
Yeah.
on this, which
there were
is great.
certain writers in the writers' room who liked the first name slow mo,
Oh,
just because it seemed so Lower East Side.
Sure.
Um, oh,
That's
Bob,
great.
mentioned Bob Pook with the graphics, but those bumpers by Mark Carson. He did put a book together of them, and they're very inspired. But Letterman had to sort of approve every concept and every finished version as well. He did have kind of Joseph Stalin like grip over whole shows. When I talked with people who wrote for like Alan Thicke on Thick of the Night or Craig Kilborn or something, where they go, the host didn't care. He showed up, did whatever you wrote for him, and.
Were there things that he didn't like? Like, was there anything that you guys tried to pitch that he was just like, absolutely not, never on my show?
Oh my gosh, I do a little imitation of me going through 100 pitches, sitting at his desk, and it'd be like, no, 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 and then you'd get a Lord no. But then, praise of praise, he'd say, I don't mind that one. I don't mind that one too much.
Yeah,
but that was like his praise for your work as well. When you got a nice like, you're just nuts. That was like worth a Yankee dollar.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's some of these shows, especially like the themed shows that you would do. You know, whether it's Monkey Cam or the camera flipping around or whatever. Feels like it was so much prep and so much work for a show that most of you, I assume, thought would never be seen again. You know, like
the notion of repeats did exist.
Yeah.
But I mean, what we were doing amounted to like a throwaway daily newspaper.
Yeah.
I've compared I was head writer for about a decade, and the effort and the activity involved was a combination of putting out a small town newspaper every day combined with organizing a small town parade.
Yeah.
Because there were marching elements and physical elements and strange sight gags and visuals. Oh, this has got to be an Andy Breckman piece. He was big on etiquette pieces.
Andy Breckman's so funny.
He's created Monk.
Yeah.
He actually is,
Rat Race.
for my money, the most nonstop funny person just to talk with.
Well, I mean, we just met, but
Brian thinks he might be the most
pretty
nonstop
good.
funny.
Yeah. Did you hear some of the jokes I made earlier? Oh, there you go. Okay, cool.
These were a combination, by the way, the bus line things. Steve Weiner, Carl Tiedemann. By the way, those guys are the ones who discovered Calvert DeForest.
Oh, wow.
They were making a film, a student film at NYU, and they came up with a great premise, which is a fake documentary about the world's worst movie studio from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. So they could make dozens of short bursts of bad clips. And they discovered Calvert just with a regular audition and said, he's so great, he's good. And their film was part of their submission to Letterman and Merrill Marco, the first head writer.
Okay.
And they went, yeah, we'd like to hire you guys. We'd also like to hire that guy from there. And indeed they did. Oh, here's another screw up where the screw up was better than the reality. When Calvert was just supposed to read The Night Before Christmas. We didn't even have a good joke for it. But he accidentally got handed a prop book that was written in Spanish. It wasn't Night Before Christmas or anything. And no one put it on cards. We didn't think. Somehow there was a missed connection, and he just got and of course it goes haywire, and then it collapses into a sinkhole, and then cuts back to Dave, and he just goes.
I thought it was planned too.
No. Though it would have been smart to do so. Same with this.
This is the greatest.
I don't think I ever saw Letterman as pleased about something as
it's so
because
funny.
He's a broadcaster.
Yeah.
The idea that like someone wouldn't know how to use a microphone. He keeps talking, and yes, that's where. If it works, it's good. If it doesn't work, it's way better.
Sure. Yeah.
I worked on the Bonnie Hunt show for a while, and had what I thought was like an all right premise for a bit, was having kid magicians come out and do tricks like every Monday, like a Magic Monday, and we tried it with like kid. I went to the Magic Castle and saw a bunch of kid magicians, and they were all way too good.
Oh, sure.
So we just had the cameraman and the script coordinator's daughter. We'd give them a magic trick, and they had overnight to learn it.
That's fun.
And if it worked, crowd loved them.
Yeah.
If it didn't work, the crowd loved them even more.
Is it hard working on talk shows after leaving Letterman?
Was it hard? Well, I did work on Kimmel.
Yeah.
It was oddly more effort because you didn't want to just duplicate
Sure.
what you'd done
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
but
that's
you
mostly
found
what I'm
yourself
asking,
doing
yeah.
certain things, and also just because Kimmel was such a Letterman
Fanatic, yeah.
Yes, it was like he was an ideologue. I'm sure that's why he hired me. He just
Yeah.
wanted to collect Letterman people. But Kimmel had even gone into radio out of college, even though that was no longer necessary,
Yeah.
because he wanted to follow Letterman's path. So he did radio for a while. But we used his uncle, Frank,
Yes.
a retired New York City policeman, as the show's nominal security guard. But he was kind of like a Calvert character because he was a lovable, odd, distinctive character, but not the brightest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And that sort of worked as a Letterman. Guillermo, the follow-up character who still graces the screen
Yes.
with Kimmel.
good.
He was a real security guard that I remember the first time
No idea.
Kimmel even mentioned him. He said he wanted to show me the security guard sleeping in his car in the parking lot behind the studio, and we laughed and laughed about it. But when we would use him in little bits and he would interact with Dave on the air, it was like, okay, we got something here. Just because he was so adorable, like this little sort of Ewok.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was a genuine rapport there, and he was also willing to do all kinds of things, and that was definitely an echoing of Letterman sensibilities.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting story, and I hope Dave wouldn't be mad for me remembering accurately, but I think ultimately generously and nobly, that he did not care for this bit when we taped
Wow.
it. It was very arch. It was supposed to be pretending to be like an after-school special.
Right.
Yeah.
And he went, no. But then it was so popular, and people kept mentioning it, that he would start saying, we need more of those after-school special. We need more of those, they took my show away. And then we started showing this in anniversary shows or elsewhere. But Tom Gamble and Max Pross, who always had a sort of perfect sense for how to do an arch imitation of corny stuff. And again, Hal Gurney, just the accident of that squirrel crossing
Yep.
the sidewalk. Just
So Hal is going out and doing all this
Yes.
too. He's doing all the pre-tape. Oh wow.
He
Okay.
was indefatigable, and he could find stuff, along the way.
'Cause
he
nowadays-
might not go. He might not go if we were just getting street footage.
Yeah.
we might go with an AD or just a camera guy, and we would just look for odd
Yeah.
sites around Times Square and Theater District and so on.
I just feel like nowadays those two things are so split up, where it's like you're the in-studio director, you're the pre-tape director, you're
Right.
the like it's two separate jobs now, which is
Writers,
Yeah.
or they combine them.
Yeah.
Writers have to edit pieces on their laptops.
yeah.
By the way, a folkloric conspiracy theory is that the boy is young Conan O'Brien,
Oh, that's great. I like it.
but not so.
Would be fun though.
No, he was a quite accomplished kid actor. I think he'd been in some McDonald's commercials or something.
This is in the book too, right?
Yeah.
There's like the late night with David Letterman, the book.
Oh,
they like show what is it? It's like a bunch of different screen grabs and stuff of it.
Yeah, they show the screen grabs.
You
with
mentioned the
text.
screen grabs,
Yeah.
just because Meryl and I worked, on putting that thing together.
Yeah.
And the guy from Villard Books or
Uh-huh.
whatever, I kept saying, I don't want these to look like when they reproduce a TV image in Newsweek magazine, and it has all the
sure.
scan lines and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And they went, no, this is a new technology that's totally. And no, they look just
Yeah,
That's very funny.
like
Here it
pictures
is.
off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does.
Just
For
like-
anyone reading the book, page 2021.
Read along with
Yeah,
it.
it's a read along book now.
Dave's also a very good actor. Like in this sketch, even in Cabin Boy, he's he's very funny.
He claims not to be.
Oh, no, he does.
He
He's
claims to. Not, I'm no actor.
I think there's a great dramatic part for current
Oh.
David Letterman.
You
know what I mean? Stick him in a movie. I think he would be amazing.
I bring his name up constantly.
Yeah.
When the show became a bigger success, 2 or 3 years after this, he signed a contract for several $1 million to make like 2 or 3 films or something.
Yeah.
And after a year or so, he actually gave the money back and
Oh,
said,
wow.
"Yeah, I'm not." George Meyer wrote him a script. He looked at other scripts. I thought that he would not be comfortable acting in a movie, but I thought of 2 characters that he'd be good at portraying. one was H.L. Mencken, the writer and the acerbic columnist from the 1930s who came up with Bible Belt and Bourgeoisie and stuff like that.
Wow.
And the other was Beethoven.
Wow.
Just sort of artistic and
Yes.
brilliant, but also moody and curmudgeonly. He doesn't look very Beethoven-y there. But
Have you seen his audition for Airplane online?
I have seen that.
Ted Stryker?
oh, maybe years
Yeah,
ago.
it's great. It's
But
great.
again, it's like when he was on Mork and Mindy.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. He's good though. He plays himself in Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon, he redoes the
Peacock.
end
Yeah,
call.
and by the way, the
And,
only
American Splendor. Yeah.
the only performer in that movie that refused to change his look.
Yeah,
Like,
he's got
get
gray
a-
hair and a beard.
change his hair or put on a period suit. He just said, "You'll have to take me the way
so
I am,"
funny.
and they
So
did,
good.
and it was fine.
It's fun.
That was
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
That's so insane.
Yeah, this is a good. Hal must have been in the control room in the studio, but the cutting away to the party is the spirit is there.
Yeah, you guys keep going back to Grizzly Adams. Because he's there, and
It's
like,
see, at this point, that would be the type of celebrity we could
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
And someone watching in 2026 goes, "Oh, that must have been a mainstream primetime star," and you go, "Well, yes,
yeah, sure.
but it was off. It
Yeah.
was like just off enough."
Do you remember when you found that the chorus was not going to be there anymore?
Well, very near the show, and I had to
It
get
was-
on
yeah.
with a phone call. They had a very proud. The problem is with like all these things, it ran long.
Yeah.
The idea was they were contracted. I don't know if it was even in the contract. They were supposed to do 2 numbers, and one of them was their Merchant Marine Academy song. You know, or whatever it was. I forget what it was. I started mistakenly to sing the Coast Guard anthem. What's the matter with me?
Yeah.
But the other was, and this was my idea because it was my sister Maureen's favorite, Hang On Sloopy,
Yes.
which they worked on for weeks.
Yeah.
Hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on. And then when there was so little time and they only had time for one number, we wanted them to do Hang On, Sloopy because that's just a much more interesting thing.
Yeah.
And the director said, "Nope, we're going to have to go." But I hope there's not too much time in the because now we've tipped the whole ending.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
But they did.
We'll get there.
They did make a angry. Oh, this is George Meyer. This is his pet thing.
It feels like a Simpsons gag almost. How it just keeps
He
getting
went on-
pushed and like it's.
George Meyer went on to work on The Simpsons for
Yeah.
many years and was a extremely huge pillar in that organization.
Yeah.
I got to write some Simpsons, but I was not a pillar. I was more of a shingle.
Was that exciting to go work on that?
The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, the only other audio commentary I've ever done was for my Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
But when I showed up for it, it was one of the 1 out of 100 that Matt Groening also showed up for. So I just kept my mouth shut. Just because, like, who am I, the guy that wrote one episode?
Yes.
I wrote half of another one because it was like a clip show.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, writers like it when you take a wholesome, beloved character and denigrate it. This is sort of meta humor, joke on a joke, rolling over the.
I also like when you drop stuff off a high building.
Yes.
You know why, like, how
Yes,
stuff
Letterman's
wrong.
own idea, by the
Oh,
way.
cool.
And those were really, really fun.
You went over to CBS with them?
Yes, for
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 years.
What was the biggest difference between NBC and CBS in terms of
Well,
I don't know, the show for you?
I've lost track of my curmudgeonly comments. Because I was a head writer on this show, I liked the size of the studio and the size of this audience.
Yeah.
The Ed Sullivan Theater was twice the size or more.
Yeah.
And it was almost too big because you sometimes had to wait for audience reaction to go
Trickle
to the back
through.
of the house
Yeah,
and come
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
It felt much bigger. We would, in our winking arch way on this NBC show, say, "Welcome to the big extravaganza. You know, what a show. It's spectacular." Insincerely.
Yeah.
At CBS, you had Paul McCartney performing on the marquee.
Yeah.
It was an extravaganza.
Sure,
It
of
was
course.
spectacular. And that is wonderful in another way. But, so for me, I completely understand Letterman. Who wants to have a creative performing career, hoping to leave a mark on broadcasting and limit your audience. He just knew that earlier, bigger, onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
But I was unambitious in that way, I guess. But I think it worked out best for him. I think if he had gotten the Tonight Show was already beginning to fade in significance. And the fact that he was Johnny Carson's favorite, that kind of gives him the moral imprimatur.
For sure.
Having said that, Jay Leno was our absolute favorite guest on the NBC show. Wow. The falling out over the Tonight Show was very, very sad because to me, they were the two best funny minds that were working at the time.
And he was on so much.
Oh, it was great.
He was on 100 times probably, right?
Well, we would have had him on more, but they were sort of like you can't have him on every week. So we would wait 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, and then have him on again. And for me as head writer, I always go, oh my God, this is so hard. Oh, we got to do this. Oh, but Jay Leno's on Thursday. That'll be all right. You just knew at least part of the show was taken care of.
Yeah.
Whenever Steve Martin was on, he was involved in a sketch.
Yes.
Did he come up with it with you guys, or did you pitch him?
Sometimes. Like I wrote a bit about him marking cards to do a card trick. That when we slowed down, it was ridiculously over detailed. Joe Toplin wrote a bit that was so. There's Man Ray's Weimaraner. Oh wait, I mean I've forgotten Wegman.
Yeah.
The dog's name is Man Ray, not. Oh, brother. But this is so Merrill. This is so. Dave would say this is the only thing that's on NBC right now.
Yep.
William Wegman.
Yes, William Wegman.
Is that really Letterman's house?
I think it's actually an apartment in town. It might have been Tom Gamble's apartment.
All right.
We shot a couple of other things there where the babysitter horror movie, the calls are coming from inside the house, but it's like the baby is making the calls. Yeah. That is so Tom Gamble.
Do you have any I'm a big Grodin guy.
Oh, he was a wonderful guest.
Yeah.
Wonderful guest.
Do you have any memories of him?
Just that I thought he was excellent, and that he had I think still unappreciated how conceptual and dry and deliberately, elusively obnoxious he would be, aware of what he was doing.
I think he's the guest on because that clip of him in the apartment, he's like waiting on his cable guy to show up, I think. And I think Grodin is the guest in the studio.
Waiting for him, yes.
And they like go back and forth over a satellite.
There were certain guests who didn't mind being used as a punchline to a joke. We had a glass case with Marv Albert, the sportscaster, in it with a hammer that in case of cancellation, break glass. Oh, Tommy Casabona, one of the stagehands.
Amazing.
With a very distinctive voice. Chris Elliott, by the way, used to be able to imitate not only the voices of all the stagehands, but their body language and their postures.
Yeah.
It was quite devilish. It was often scary. He could also do the Carson executives that would come by, Dave Tebbett, who was kind of an evilly character, kind of a procurer, and
I think is that Willem Dafoe in the Saturday Night Live movie that just came out.
I haven't seen it.
I think it's Willem Dafoe.
But there was something sinister about him, very Las Vegas-y.
Yes.
Willem Dafoe. That must be weird to see yourself.
Tebbett
is long gone.
Yeah.
That's why I've suddenly shown courage in criticizing him. Another Tom Gamble idea: the Szechuan State versus Hunan University. These are the actual names of these Chinese restaurants in New York, and you go. Sometimes a single.
That's all it takes.
Premise is enough. Stealing the Stanley Cup, I think that was Dave's inspiration at the because it happened to be across the hall at the news show. The other thing. We did this in 30 Rock, where there were 12 other shows going on.
Yeah.
So we could do bits with soap opera performers, sometimes with minutes' notice.
Yeah.
Sometimes with SNL people, sometimes with
Live at 5.
Live at 5. I got to be good pals with them.
I watched your Live at 5 interview last night. That's online with you and Jerry. I think you're talking about the book, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I appeared on that show a few times with my twin brother. They would have like brothers. We were in like an Esquire magazine for like their brothers issue.
Oh, amazing.
It had the Kennedy brothers on the cover, and I kept joking with my twin that they had a long meeting. Which ones do we want on the cover?
So
The
funny.
O'Donnell brothers or the? Are we at the end of? No,
No,
we're
no,
not at
no,
the end
no.
of the show. Oh, this is because
Yes.
This is amazing.
it's been 40
Yeah.
some years.
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote this, but see, anyone watching it now would not get it. It was a parody of a Coke commercial where a kid sees
Mean Joe?
Me
Yes.
Joe Green. Yeah.
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 You got to work with Paul Rubens. Oh my gosh.
Paul Rubin, by the way, not a sports fan, but he totally got it.
Yeah.
Totally got it. And the idea of trying it on himself was his own idea, and it worked out great. I think it was one take. We did it. Yeah, it worked out.
That's my favorite.
I loved him, by the way. That was
Yeah.
another guest if he was coming. But the first few appearances, Letterman was genuinely perturbed. Like,
Sure.
This guy's
What is this?
Weirdo.
Yeah.
The way he didn't. Again, I'm going out here. I don't think he warmed instantly to Kimmel, but now they love each other.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
They truly love each other. I think Letterman felt like the beloved old family dog, and that Kimmel was some crazy slobbering puppy that was
Sure.
running all over the porch.
Yeah.
But then they came to, and Letterman already knew that Kimmel was a big fan.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes
I'm
one
sure
comfortable
that
or
played a
uncomfortable.
little bit into it. Yeah.
If there's two choices, and it's Letterman, go for the uncomfortable. They misspelled Wendell.
Yeah, I think that might have been. That was probably
By
the
the way,
subtitles that I put on
Wendell
there.
had been Ernie Kovacs's announcer.
Yeah.
The Don Z's will appreciate that
Yes.
reference. And Hal Gurney had been Jack Parr's
wow.
director. Yes, you can see old clips of Jack Parr talking to Hal over the intercom. Another, like the young Conan O'Brien playing the redheaded kid. In 2001, the Kubrick Space Odyssey, the astronaut's named Dave, and the computer is named Hal.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
there's these
wow.
conversations between Hal and Dave, and people thought it was an extended
Wow.
inside
I never even thought
joke.
about
Me
that.
either. Yeah.
that we made, but it was utter coincidence, like so many things. I remember when Jim Carrey came on a podcast we were doing with Norm, and so funny, such funny faces and such. But he has some crazy ideas, and he started ranting at Norm about there's 33 vertebrae in the spine. Jesus Christ was 33 when he was crucified. And just Norm interrupted and said, Jim, I think that's a coincidence. Like, not usually stopping people.
Yeah. Here's
I think we're
Grizzly.
going to the party. I think... I don't know how close to the crisis we're coming.
I
down
think
with.
It's on over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh, by the way, a similar debacle at the very first Kimmel show, which followed Super Bowl 2003, which you couldn't have asked for a better lead-in, right? And we had a very expensive satellite hookup to San Diego. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the two football players we'd arranged to be there live, because the show was live, couldn't get there in time or change their mind. But Kimmel wisely decided to just cut to an empty chair with the ferns behind it
Amazing.
and just go, we paid for it.
Yeah.
We're going to go live to an empty set in San Diego or wherever they were, Long Beach.
It is kind of wild because Kimmel early on, you guys had trouble getting guests.
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
But it's funny that they were the Super Bowl. They followed the Super Bowl,
Right.
and you were still having you would think that ABC would have been able to help out a little bit there.
They were supportive at first. He had a rough go. They
Yeah.
changed our executive producer a few times. People misappreciated him. They thought he was the Man Show guy. They thought he was Fred Flintstone. They thought he was a lout. When the fact was, his memory and his quickness and his wit and his callback abilities are close to. I mean, they are parallel to Letterman's, and also a wonderful, warm kind of fun. Letterman was a cool character to work with, and that was sort of respectable.
Yeah.
Kimmel, half Italian, but fully Italian in his sort of sentiment and physicality. Even his parents used to grab my arms and pat my cheeks and kiss me and stuff. I go like, "Oh, please, I'm from Ohio."
So when this is happening, right? It's all quote unquote falling apart. Are you like, oh no, this is a disaster? Or are you going, well, we're gonna figure it out. He'll be fine.
I think as it began to unravel, I felt terrible because it had been my idea.
Sure. Yeah.
But then I knew enough already, as with the misreading the Christmas story, the Christmas poem, that there could be something great in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see. There's something about the ballroom emptying out.
Emptying out. Yep.
Yes, we did our best.
That's amazing.
We did, by the way, this is a genuine thing. The most expensive little viewer mail pre-tape we ever did was like 2 weeks later, a week later. Somebody asked what happened. And I wrote a bit where it was totally blaming the Merchant Marine Academy Choir.
There you go.
And that's me. All these great names. By the way, David Yazbek.
Yeah.
He's just got a Tony Award recently.
Oh wow.
He did Full Frontal, the Full Monty.
Oh,
he
yeah,
did
yeah.
Dead Outlaw. I'm getting all the names wrong. This is where I really do seem like a senior citizen. But
if they're wrong, we'll make plays with that name, so you're okay.
So
Don't
you're
worry about
correct.
no, I just loved all these people. They were all so. And we did feel like it was a little sort of secret club that some people knew about,
Right.
and that we would have such fun doing, and also in a kind of not quite as lethal a way. There was a kind of togetherness of the trenches and the front lines,
Sure.
because you're doing it every single day, and you do get to see someone's measure, like can they come through on short notice, and almost all of them did, and I love them all.
Yeah.
Well, 90%.
It's a great special, and it's Brian, did you go to one? Did you tell me that?
I went to the 6th anniversary at Radio City Music Hall.
Oh, see,
They shot it
already
twice.
there.
Yeah.
Already there,
Yeah.
we're in full swing.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
great.
When we started going to bigger and bigger venues, when it was Radio City and so on, and we had super bands. Joe Toplin, by the way, I love the man, but he claims he came up with the term super band.
Oh.
And I went, Joe, I think they were using
Oh, for
super
sure.
band before. He was seen in the background, by the way, at the parties. He was one of the hoodlum thugs with the blue jumpsuit and the
Great.
dark glasses that we would sometimes use to haul away Chris Elliott when he started spouting his conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy guy. Oh.
Well, you guys have watched more than I.
Oh,
if you know the conspiracy guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
is-
No,
I
we're-
watched every episode after school.
Yeah.
Every episode.
Wow.
When-
on tape.
On tape. My sister would tape it, and she and I would watch it together.
Oh, how
She's going to be so jealous.
When someone
Eat it,
like,
Christina. I'm not done yet. Listen.
Go ahead.
No, I'm
go
just
ahead.
kidding. I'm good.
I was gonna say, when someone like Chris Elliott comes in, or another writer or whatever, do you immediately go, "This is gonna work for this show"? Or
yes and no.
Yeah.
You know that for the first year on the show, Chris Elliott's job was organizing the stupid pet tricks.
Yeah.
It was like a real job.
Yeah.
But he would appear, we'd do stupid prop pieces where he'd come on wearing a costume and he could be sort of deadpan and bizarre in his responses to Letterman. And Letterman, to his credit, said, we can do something with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember now, I saw him, like I'm tooting my own horn, but I'm also pointing out how clearly I wasn't suitable for this. But the panicky guy, the guy where there's a little problem with a light flickering, suddenly goes crazy and thinks, we got to get out of here. You can all die if you want to, but I pitched it for myself. And Letterman said, I think we're going to have Chris do it. And of course,
Yeah.
someone should say the rest is history.
Oh, the rest is history.
He was so great at all those characters, and then to have gone on, I hope he's happy with his wonderful career, because I think just to have done Groundhog's Day and Schitt's Creek and stuff,
Creek.
how
Scary
wonderful.
Movie. He's so funny in Scary Movie
Two.
2. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Oh, he's really funny in it. I think he's coming back for the next one.
I got to say, Cabin Boy is underappreciated.
Yeah?
I think it's brilliant. I
There's a
love it so
lot
much.
of supposedly horrible movies that I quite love.
Yes.
Give us a couple.
Well, I won't say I quite love it, but it's not terrible. Ishtar is
Oh,
not
it's great.
terrible.
I love
Yeah.
Ishtar.
Big
Yeah.
Ishtar fan.
Yep.
Yeah. We saw Ishtar in Santa Monica maybe like a year and a half ago at the Arrow Theater, and it played like gangbusters.
Wow.
Because I think people don't have the context. Like if it's a younger audience, you don't have the context of all the newspapers or whatever being like, this is a bomb, this is the worst.
100%.
And you're like, no, it's funny. It's good.
I'd also say that Heaven's Gate is underappreciated.
I've never seen
It's
Heaven's
very
Gate.
good. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's very, very slow.
Very slow, but it's very good.
How wonderful. It's another underappreciated film, Gangbusters.
I've never seen Gangbusters.
Are you mean Ghostbusters?
From the 1930s or something, right?
He means
Like
Ghostbusters, Patrick.
Peter
It's very
Lorre, Edward
appreciated.
G. Robinson.
Oh, great. Okay.
We have them on next week for the show.
Yeah, Edward G. Robinson's back.
I hope he doesn't cancel.
He and Brother Theodore.
Oh, God, I love him.
Thank you so much, Steve. This was great.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
I
Come
feel like a
back
contest
anytime.
winner today. This was
Yes.
awesome. Thank you.
Late Night with David Letterman.
So good. I didn't bring up the Peace Through Dramatization Players.
Yeah.
Which he is a member of sometimes.
yeah.
I didn't bring up David Letterman's Christmas Family.
Sure.
Have you ever seen the
I have
Christmas
seen the
episodes?
yeah.
Melissa gets it. Melissa wins. Oh my God. And in one episode of the Christmas year, of the Christmas special, he has a son who's effeminate and wants to be a dancer. And then the next year, he's in the military.
Great.
Because
very
Letterman
funny.
has tried to straighten him out,
very, very
and then they show footage of it and embarrass him. Of the other, oh my God, it is. And he has a new wife. In the first one, he has like an old,
That's fun.
like white wife. In the next one, he's got an Asian wife, and the kids hate her.
That's very
So,
funny.
oh my God, I love Letterman so much. I think that and The Simpsons
Yeah.
is what inspired all the good comedy now.
Yeah.
And I think
there's
Conan,
there's a lot of
Conan too, but
crossover.
Conan's Letterman
Yeah.
inspired, I think.
And there's a lot of crossover between those three.
Of course.
I feel like so many of those people worked on 2 or 3 of those things.
There was nothing like that show. I felt like they were putting on that show for themselves,
Yeah.
and we happened to be watching it.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Thanks for getting him.
Thanks for talking to him.
Can we get Letterman? Because
Probably not.
I want to
I've
meet
tried-
him more than any other
I
person.
mean, we didn't even talk about it. Have I told you the Letterman stuff?
No,
with
you should,
The
though.
Chris Gethard show?
No.
When Letterman was going off the air, we were working on season 1 of the Chris Gethard show on Fusion. It was on a channel called Fusion, which basically a ham radio station. Like
Right.
no one knew that it existed. But someone told us, "Hey, you guys should get down here because they're throwing everything away."
Wow.
The set.
Yeah.
They're just like chucking. It was the day after the last episode. Everything's being thrown away. So we got a box car, like a box truck,
Yeah.
and sent it over. And a bunch of the crew members just grabbed a bunch of stuff and took it out of a dumpster and put it into this box truck and drove it back. And we said, how do we put this on our set?
Yeah.
We got like the Brooklyn Bridge. We got another one of the bridges from the
Right.
back, a bunch of the buildings and stuff. And we said, how do we put this on the set? And we said, all right, let's. It was being produced by Funny or Die. So Funny or Die went to Letterman because he had just been on Billy on the Street. And he was like, you can put it up. I have to sign off on it because the art director is dead. So there's no one. Like, you can't get them to do it, but I own it. So I will sign off on it. But when the show is done, no one can keep anything. It has to go to Ball State.
Oh, cool.
So we at the end of the show had to ship it all out to Ball State, but it's on the show. There's like multiple Letterman bridges
Did
in
you
the
steal
background.
anything though?
I didn't,
Oh,
and I'm
man.
like, I wish I had gone to the dumpster that day.
Yeah, of course.
It's like one of my big regrets is they're like, you have to work, and I was like, okay, but
Right. Well, it's
let
too
me
important.
do this.
I almost bought a Letterman tie signed by Letterman for
Sure.
$500.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine owning something that he touched.
Yeah.
Like he's the greatest.
Yeah.
He truly is.
he is.
Man, and mostly I don't know. The guy next to us today was responsible for all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
he helped come up with the stuff that inspired what I do now and like
Yeah.
what so many people do now. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
That was really neat.
Go
He smoked like a chimney the whole time he was here.
the
Did you notice that?
entire time.
Oh boy, he didn't at all. He didn't.
No.
He didn't. He had a
Uh,
late night with David Letterman shirt on.
He did. I
Yeah,
noticed it at
that
the
was
end. He
cool.
was buttoned up, and
Yeah.
it was fun.
I think I wanted him for the picture to show it, but I don't
Yeah.
think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that was great. Jojo, thanks for helping out today and recording.
Thank you, Dodo.
She just gave the thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Double thumbs up.
That was great.
Go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/commentary.
Right now?
Yeah.
I should. All right.
Yeah, you can do it. You have the opportunity to send in guest questions, and we'll ask them on the show. We upload versions of whatever we're watching synced up with the audio, so you can watch those two together. We'll tell you who's coming up early, who's being released that week, all that kind of stuff. It's very fun.
And we're going to do original stuff just for.
Yeah, we've got a few
Patreon.
original episodes that are going up there too, so you'll be able to hear that there. Go leave reviews on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. and just tell people about the show. Tell people that you're enjoying it. Post about the show.
I hope my sister listens to this one.
Do you think she's gonna?
I think so, because she's the one that got me into Letterman.
What's her name?
Christina Lynch. I was going to have her say, well, Christina Lilja. She's married now, but
What's her last name now?
Lilja.
Ooh, that's a fun name.
Yeah. Yeah, she got me into it. I did say right in front of Steve, eat it, Christina. So that wasn't cool.
No, it's fine.
Probably should have had him say something nice to her.
You should have said, "Eat it, Christina Lilja."
Oh yeah. So she knows for
She
sure.
knows that too.
Anyway, yeah, she will be thrilled that I did this and jealous. Maybe, I don't know.
I hope so.
No, probably not. She's not jealous.
Christina, if you ever want to come on an episode,
What
I'll
would
have
she
Brian
do?
stay home. It's fine.
Oh yeah. Well, she lives in New Jersey, so
She can fly out.
she won't.
Okay.
Not for you.
Thanks, Christina.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to Hey That's Me Commentary Podcast. This has been a That Was Just So Funny production. Your hosts have been Brian Lynch and Patrick Hotner. Music was by Alex Peabody and our art was by Abigail Noy. You can find out more about the show by going to heythat'smepod.com and checking out our Patreon at patreon.com/commentary. If you've enjoyed the show, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Please tell your friends about this show.